Hey, hi friends, there was a time I was a bartender and I never expected to make multiple sources of income. I barely made it. Now I have 7 sources of income and I want to highlight what are the 7 and how you can get started yourself, and of course the dangers to watch out for. For me, it all started when my mom brought me to a Tony Robbins event. I was about 10 years old. So think about it, it's been 30 years. From then, because I was so young, I was really motivated to achieve a higher level of life. Tony Robbins motivates people to achieve things that we could only dream about. So of course, 99% of the effort comes from us. For example, in my channel, if you look at the comments below, I constantly get audience commenting that they do not have enough money to buy Tesla shares. Hey, same thing here, I did not have enough, but I actually worked around it and I actually did a video on it. I'll put the link up here and down below. I just want to be clear from the start, this video is not to ask you to buy some online course, affiliate marketing, some kind of special magical strategy that I developed and blasting the ads at you. Okay, this method is just simple, pure hard work and conviction. If you think this is too much work, skip this video. But before that, help me click the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Your effort is really much appreciated. For me, I realized if you wanted to have multiple sources of income, you need to start with just one and build on that. As simple as it sounds, it's going to be the same for most people, which is your job. I realized that your job is the key to multiple sources of income. For example, when I was in government service, I had no control of my time. I left government service and worked in the private sector. In the private sector, it's easier to grow your income because the more value and contribution you bring to your company, your salary grows much more than it would have been in the government service. Sorry, this is just how the world works. Though work was tough, I had control of my time. In a day, we have about 24 hours, so I worked like 10 to 12 hours a day. I slept 8, and the remaining it was like 4 to 6 hours. I didn't spend my time socializing. It's not because I'm an introvert, but I really wanted to achieve a higher level of life. The 4 to 6 hours was spent building my other sources of income while my main salary increased exponentially. Using my savings, I started 2 companies every year for 7 years. Mostly failed, but 3 companies made it. So this is where my second source of income comes from, which is my UK company. I'm in the lettings business. The lettings business I'm doing in the UK is a little different. The lease goes out for as long as 5 years, but the kind of housing I provide targets lower income families, basically the blue-collar workers. Blue-collar workers are the backbone of the world, and I'm in the business to give them a better life. I'm very passionate about this business because what I do directly impacts the life of people. You see, in the UK, housing is a problem for the underserved people. There just isn't enough. So this is one of the things my UK company does. We provide housing to the underserved and collect rental from the government at a very, very cheap price. We make sure that the house are in good condition, and if anything, we are just a phone call away. I love what I do in that business because it directly impacts the life of people. I have control to be a nice person or an ass. With that responsibility, I will never abuse it, and if anything bad happens, of course I'll be the first to step up. My third source of income is something everybody can do almost instantly, which is getting dividends, means buying dividend stocks. However, I only recommend this to people who are retiring. Receiving dividends from companies which are recession, disruption, and innovation-proof companies is really awesome. You invest once and you receive a lifetime of dividends. The reason why I say that this method is only good for people retiring is dividend companies generally have less capital appreciation, meaning the stock price will not likely go up so much. So in return, you get a stable income. But because I'm only 40, dividend income makes up a very little portion of my portfolio. So examples of such companies are like, let's say, example, exchanges. Exchanges are like, the New York Stock Exchange or the Chicago Board Options Exchange, or in Singapore, we call it the Singapore Stocks Exchange, SGX. These companies cannot be disrupted because at the end of it, people who trade stocks and buy sell stocks, they need to go through an exchange. There's no other way. So this is one example of a company which is like recession proof, disruption proof, and innovation proof. My fourth source of income is being seated at the board of a few companies. I love doing this because I'm able to provide strategic advice directly impacting the lives of many who are working for the company. So just one quick advice for people who are running companies or planning to run a company. Did you ever hear this business saying like customer comes first? Okay, I call this the worst stupid business advice ever. See, as a leader, your job is to always look after your employees first. That's your job. Always have their back. In return, your employees will be the one to look after the customer. Okay, here's a story. There's this bartender that works 2 different jobs in 2 different companies, requiring him to do the same task, which is bartending, making drinks. At company A, he smiles and chats with his customers, and while at company B, he just does his job and go home, doesn't smile. Why the difference at different companies? He's still the same person with the same job. The difference is at company A, his manager keeps checking on him and asking him, hey, is everything okay? Do you have any issues at all? And just let me know if you have any. While at company B, his managers are constantly looking out for any mistakes the employee makes and catches them. For example, check handphone, I'll catch you. Causing them to always be aware and not try to make any mistakes. So which version of him you rather have? If your boss doesn't look after you, you should leave. Only 1 in 10 bosses are good bosses. The 5th source of income is using a financial instrument called options. I receive money consistently taking on the risk of owning a stock. For example, Tesla shares is at $500 now. There are people in the stock market that wants to buy insurance just in case the stock falls. Okay, these people who buy the insurance want a peace of mind. I'm the one selling them the insurance and pocketing the money. So if the stock drops, I'll just buy the shares from them, which is totally fine for me. Firstly, I only do this for the shares of the company I want to own. And obviously, the stock market goes up over the long term. 99% of options investors don't do this. I gave an example of this strategy in this video. I'll link it up here and down below. Also, do you know that Warren Buffett used this strategy too? It is in his 2008 annual shareholders meeting page 21 and 22. I'll link it down below. You know, school teaches us not to copy. I choose to do the opposite. I copy successful people. My 6th source of income comes from renting office spaces. Okay, I rent really big space and I cut it up in small portions and rent out small offices for like $300. I love this business because I'm solving a big problem. Rentals keep going up and people need to downsize, or just people really need cheap office spaces. Because renting a big space is much cheaper per square feet, I actually make the difference. Does WeWork sound familiar? My final source of income is very new. The income source is YouTube. I started YouTube because I wanted to help inspire people to give them a better life and bring positivity. The only reason why I monetize my videos is because YouTube will help push the video out to more people. It makes a lot of sense because YouTube get paid for displaying ads. I know there's many more ways to earn money off YouTube like sponsors, etc. But I actually explained it here in this video up at the 8-minute 11-second mark why I don't need the YouTube money. I'll link the video down below too. I have enough to live a simple life right now, and actually that is more than enough. So friends, if you appreciate what I do, help give me a like for the YouTube algorithm. So concluding this video, how do you achieve what do you want to achieve? You see, I can never imagine myself from being a bartender to being where I am right now 20 years later. Your first step is to pour your heart and soul to build that first income source, and while doing so, use the extra time to explore other opportunities. Remember I mentioned how I didn't have a social life for so many years. Okay, don't fall into that get quick rich or too good to be true traps. To me, I believe in hard, consistent work. You work with a good heart, you will eventually reach your goals, and this I assure you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care.